Hey everyone, so today is going to be my final video for chapter 1 in the Faery Craft by Emily Carding. On Friday I'm going to start chapter 2, and I've done the suggested activities at the end of chapter 1. I drew my little designs and everything else, and I made the one that I connect with the most, which is the fairy star. So I made this out of some aluminum, or actually it's copper wire, that's what it is, because I wanted it to be a little bit sturdy and stuff like that. So I made this, and it just goes on my altar and everything else. I wanted to make it out of something a little more natural, but this is what I could find, so that's what I did it out of. And one of the suggestions in the book was to research in your area about fairy stuff, like fairy lore or fairy anything. And so I did find something interesting in mine. So we have a bridge not far from where I live called the Ayers Natural Bridge. And it's really cool. I haven't actually gone to see this yet. I just actually found out about it, but not the bridge itself, but what's there at the bridge. I knew about the bridge. But they have fairy gardens up there, like little hidden fairy gardens and gnomes up there. And I can't wait for the spring so that I can go look at them, because I did not know that they were up there. And then I found out at Yellowstone, because I live in Wyoming, at Yellowstone, they have the fairy falls. Oh, I wish I would have known about that when I went up to Yellowstone a couple of years ago, because I totally would have gone to see them. So I did find that out. Let's see. I learned through meditation that I have a harder time with meditation. I had to meditate doing the fairy, or not the fairy sigil, but the great sigil of the sheaf. And I did it probably 4 or 5 times over the last couple of weeks, just trying to get a feel for it, just trying to work through it. And I'm not going to say that was easy for me. It wasn't. I only made like a real connection twice. The first time was after I did some fairy cards, which I mentioned in my last video. I'm working with these Amy Brown fairy cards, and they tell you things to do. And I showed my fairy wand that I made the last time, which is what the card had told me to do. And then after I did that, okay, I had told you guys I was going to show you what happened. So after I did that, I had gone to bed. It was like for like a little nap, because I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I think I had a migraine that day and everything. So I went ahead and I took a nap. I put myself in for a nap and just laid there and I did think about the sigil as I was going to sleep. So I think that was helpful for me. I'm not much for my dreams though, but I'm not kidding you. When I woke up, this little dude, and I'm not a very good drawer, but he was definitely yellow, was sitting on my bed. He was sitting there. And I know it's a guy, I know it's a boy, and I know that he's still around. I know that Yellow is still apparently involved. I'm calling him Yellow, but he just looked at me all curious, like he was all saying, "Hello, how you doing?" I'm just saying hi. Like, that's my first like real introduction into like the fairy realm. And I didn't go to the fairy realm. He came to me. He came and said hi to me, like my little "hi, we know you're looking" kind of thing. So I was really happy about that. And then the second time I did it, I was sitting here the other day and I was just decided, okay, I'm going to try this meditation another time, see what happens. I think meditation is really important for this book. I think it's really important in connecting with those energies you want to connect with. So I went ahead and I did it again, just to try to see how it goes. And when I closed my eyes and just concentrated and kind of just let my mind go, it felt like, not necessarily like I was falling, but like something was shifting. So I didn't even open my eyes or anything. I just kind of went with it. And then all of these like hands came up, like in my vision, like while I was closed my eyes. I had my eyes closed and I had the candles going and I had the sigil there. And these hands came up as if like taking me by the hand and like leading me into something. And when I went through, it was almost like an in-between dream state. It was really odd, but cool at the same time. And I was falling. Like, okay, so there's trees that I'm going through, and then I'm suddenly falling to the ground. And when I fell to the ground, I could see, you know, Faye running forward. And when I looked up, I saw this giant, almost like diamond shape in the sky, and it was really, really white, and it had this line that came down, straight down into the Fae world. And I immediately knew I was supposed to go there and leave. So it was just a little tiny glimpse, and it's one that I am grateful for. They showed me a little glimpse, and I'm okay with that. And I hope that, you know, it'll get better as I continue on through my little adventure into connecting with the Fae and the Fairy and stuff like that. And I've done a lot of Brian Froud work, and I've read a lot of his books and stuff like that. So I know that the connection's there. I just have to find my way to it. Also, when during one of my meditations and using my Fairy Wisdom cards, it told me that the Fae wanted to drink a cup of tea with me and that I should make a snowflake. So I did drink a cup of tea, and I put it in here, and it's called the Creative. And it says, the creative conscious is not limited. So I thought that was cool that my tea bag came out that way. And then here is the snowflake that I made, and I added my gratitude to it. The things that I'm grateful for, because in one of the cards it said to acknowledge what you are grateful for in this world. So I went ahead and did that. Also, my scissors were missing for like 2 weeks, my kitchen scissors, and then they just randomly showed up. I think that was them telling me that they were around. I don't know where they were, and they randomly showed up in the weirdest place. Like, we have a banister by our stairs, and on the banister is this pottery bowl, and the pottery bowl just holds like pens and stuff like that in it, and it's usually from my significant other, and he puts his mail and stuff in there, and that's where the scissors, the kitchen scissors, showed up. But I'm glad they returned it. So that's chapter 2, or chapter 1, episode 2, I guess, and this is the final video on this chapter that I'm going to do, and I'd love to hear what your guys' experiences is if you've done any. I'm moving on to chapter 2, and I'm just going to keep moving forward. And so all of November is going to be about chapter 2. So any videos I upload on Faery Craft by Emily Carding are going to be on chapter 2 for November. And we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like I'm making progress, and I want to continue on. And I really enjoyed doing the activities with the Fairy Wisdom deck. And I enjoyed learning about the Fae related stuff near where I live, which is a really cool aspect. So, all right, so until November, I hope you guys have finished chapter 1 if you are doing this with me. If you're not and you're just following along on my journey, well, you've met yellow. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you again in November for chapter 2.